Yes, welcome. I know my hair's looking crazy, but I managed to get it done yet. And I've been out of hospital for a week now, so I'm just getting used to being at home. I'm still recovering, and you're probably still thinking you went to hospital, but what are you recovering from? So, a few weeks back, a few weeks back. So like I said, I've been out for a week from hospital now. So I would have been in hospital last week, Wednesday. I was there for 7 days. I was in hospital for a week. Um, so yeah, that would have been the week before. So literally 2 weeks ago, um, I called the ambulance on a Wednesday night, or I told my wife, I said I'm ready to go to hospital. Now, prior to all this, before saying I want to go to the hospital, I was um, I was sick for a good week, maybe even longer, maybe a bit longer. But some of the symptoms that I had was, I remember the first 3 days that I was sick, or when I was around the time I was sick. Yeah, I had banging headaches. My headache was so bad for a good 3 days. Now, bear in mind, I don't really get headaches much, but like before, I never really used to get headaches. But whenever I did, it would be like one day, like maybe one bad headache, one day, and that's it, gone. Next morning, I'll wake up, headache's gone. Now, this was different. I had a headache for 3 days. I remember being young as a kid, and I would have basically migraines, which is obviously when you have extreme headaches for like days upon days. I remember having that a few times, but you know, from when I could last remember, I don't remember the last time I had three, I had headaches in, three for 3 whole days in a row that was really bad, like really bad headaches. I cannot remember the last time that I had that. Like I said, I was probably a kid when I used to get little migraines and stuff. Other than that, I don't remember having, crazy extreme headaches for 3 days in a row. But that's what happened to me. So I had that. Then I had like the crazy coughing. I was doing that every day. Um, there was one Saturday where I remember I took my kids to football, and I was quite sick. I remember, but I remember taking them because I felt like a bit guilty that I wasn't going to take them in the first place. So I remember saying, I'm too sick, I can't take you, blah blah blah. Anyways, lo and behold, I ended up taking them, and I remember just watching them, but I couldn't really concentrate properly. I remember just feeling sick. You know what I mean? Just feeling really under the weather, as they say. And I just, I don't know what it was, but I remember just because I brought a towel. That's what I usually do sometimes, so I could just sit on it and watch the football. And then from time to time, I'll get up and stand up, and you know what I mean. But so I basically did that, the same thing. I had this towel there. Sometimes I'll sit down. Sometimes I'll get up. This time, I was sitting down because I felt dizzy. Every time I would get up. I would stand up for a while, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then I'll start feeling a bit dizzy. So I was like, let me sit down. And that's how I knew I was under the weather. That's how I knew I was sick. I wasn't feeling right. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm just gonna relax. I'm just chill out and just sit down. And I remember the towel feeling so cold because the floor underneath was so cold. And it wasn't like that all the time. I remember going previous weeks before and I could just sit on the towel and it'd be cool. It felt cold, freezing. And so in my head, I'm thinking, I gotta stand up. I can't sit on this. So I remember standing up and I felt so dizzy and so sick. I just had to sit down again. So it was just a point of, in my head, I was just like, when is this football gonna finish? And I'm never like that. I'm always cheering on my kids. I'm watching them to the end. Sometimes I'm like, them 2 hours went too quick. Sorry. them 2 hours went too quick because that's how long they train for, like 2 hours, right? And so and not the whole training session. So they will train for about an hour, and then the next hour they will play a football match, and they'll have a bit of fun. So I couldn't really enjoy it. I couldn't really, you know, I couldn't really be the same person that I am usually. A father who is yelling at his kids saying you gotta do better, or yelling at his kids saying well done, you're doing really well, get the ball, tackle, pass, shoot. I couldn't do none of that. I wasn't even speaking. My kids will come over, have water or whatnot, but I didn't have the energy to scream, shout, or whatever, however you want to say it. You know, I didn't have anything. Like, I just felt sick. And that's how I knew it. In my head, I was just like, I don't know why I took them football, but I feel so sick and run down, and I just feel mash up. So, in the end, obviously, football finished or whatnot. I went back home, and later that evening, I fainted. So, imagine this now. I fainted on that Saturday night. A week prior to that, on a Saturday, my wife fainted. That's just mad, right? But anyway, obviously I want to kind of focus on me. But yeah, alhamdulillah, she's doing fine. That day was just mad. I don't know what happened, but yeah, she fainted on that Saturday, and then the following Saturday, I fainted. So this was the day that I took them football or whatnot. Later that evening, I fainted. So what happened was, I remember just eating, and around this time I couldn't really eat nothing. Like, I just didn't feel to eat. You know, when you're sick, you just don't want to eat. But I had to eat because I wasn't really eating that day. So I remember I was at the table eating, and all of a sudden everything just went blurry, and I remember calling my wife, and then I just blanked out. Now bear in mind, my kids are on the sofa watching TV, but they've seen me faint because I've now woken up basically, and I've thought to myself, why am I sleeping on the floor? I was thinking, why am I sleeping on the floor? Then my wife's, obviously, she's told me I fainted, and you know what I mean, she's trying to get me back on my feet, and then obviously I'm like, I can't even stand up. She's giving me water, I'm drinking water. Then I'm literally just mash up. I'm just not feeling good at all. Anyways, a few days later, same kind of thing. I'm feeling sick, I can't eat. Next thing I know, my taste buds is completely gone. I'm not tasting anything, and even sometimes whenever I do taste something, it's horrible, and it's things that I like. So I'm literally thinking, what do I eat? I remember speaking to my grandmother. She's basically saying, have soup. So I obviously started getting soup. You know, my wife come around with soup and whatnot. Obviously she's gone out to the shop, bought a few things, and I can't leave the house. So at this point, I'm not even feeling like a man. And obviously, you know, with me, I like to train. I like to be active and go out and you know, work out and stuff like that. I couldn't do that. So literally for over a week, I haven't gone out like working out and stuff like that because I'm just sick. I'm indoors and I'm sick. Anyways, day by day, it's getting worse. It's getting worse to the point that now I can't breathe properly. I'm losing my breath. Every time I go upstairs, I'm out of breath, proper out of breath. I can't breathe properly. So I'm thinking, what's going on here? And I'm not thinking of COVID, nothing. I'm not thinking none of this. I'm just thinking, I've got the common flu. It's really bad. I've never had anything like this in my life. And I remember being on Facebook and stuff and saying, I'm really sick, guys, make dua for me, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And alhamdulillah, like, there's so many brothers out there who just, you know, that are, you know, making dua for me and stuff like that. So it was beautiful to see that. And like, I'm just showing pictures of me. I'm like laying down, just looking mash up. and I'm just letting people know that I'm sick, because sometimes I just like to document stuff. So I'm literally, that's what I do. I'm on Facebook and I'm posting pictures and commenting and stuff like that. And then it's got to a point that I'm just too sick to do any of that. So I'm not really posting. I'm just laying down in bed. I'm just sick. I can't go work. Can't do none of that. I can't work out, like I said. It was really bad. And then, but me now being me, I'm like, it's gonna get better. I'm just trying to think positive. Tomorrow it's gonna go away, or it's gonna get better. Now my breathing's getting worse. I'm not breathing properly. Like pretty much, it's getting to the point where I have to do something about it. Something's got to change. Something's got to happen. So I remember a Wednesday night, right? Wednesday night, so bad. I was crawling to the point that I'm crawling on the floor. My kids are seeing me panting like a dog, trying to get breath. I'm panting. I can't breathe properly. Now, at this point, I can't even pray because I'm out of breath all the time. What am I doing? I can't play with my kids. I can't. So I've said to myself in my head, I'm like, something's got to be done. I got to just go hospital now. And all this time I was pretty much avoiding hospital. I'm just like, I'm gonna get better. You know, run me a lemon tea. Let me have this. Let me have that. Honey, whatever. Like, I'm going to get better. But it just kept on getting worse. My breathing, that was the worst part, because everything else is more of a thing where you go like, oh, I'll just recover. You're not gonna call ambulance because you've lost your taste. Some people will, obviously, but someone like me, me being me, I'm just like, I'm gonna get better. But when it comes to breathing, when you can't breathe properly, you want to go to the hospital. That's it. And with everything all together, I was just sick, so sick. So I'm like, I've got to go hospital. I've told my mom, I've told my wife, I've told my wife, I said, I want to go hospital. Like, I'm ready. And we've had discussions like this previously anyway, where I've just been like, I'm not going to hospital, but this is getting so bad, it's getting worse and blah, 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 whatnot. So, obviously, if I've told my wife now I'm ready, she knows I'm ready, you know what I mean? So, because like I said before, she knows me like the back of my hand, so she knows when I'm serious about something, because like I said, I was avoiding the hospital. I wasn't ready to go to the hospital, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't see it as that bad. I always knew in the back of my mind, if it gets too crazy, I'm gonna have to go hospital. Like, I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna make myself die at home. If it's getting worse and worse, like, I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Literally drag myself about on the floor. I'm just crawling everywhere. I can't walk. You know what I mean? I had to go hospital. So I told my wife. She called the ambulance. They arrived. And I remember the nurse that came round. She basically was like, have you lot been vaccinated? No. We haven't. And I remember she was tutting like, well, you need to get that done, this, that and the other. Can you put your mask on? And like, you know what I mean? It was a bit crazy, so it's just like, hey, can you put your mask on? I remember putting on the mask, and bear in mind, I'm not used to the mask. Like, yes, I was wearing the mask for a few months or whatnot, and I remember just taking it off, and I weren't wearing it for quite a while. I just weren't wearing it. I'll be honest with you, I weren't wearing it on the buses, weren't wearing it outside. I just weren't wearing masks, right? So now, me putting on this mask, it's not even them hospital ones, it was a black one, and it's quite thick. And those kind of masks, I can't breathe in properly. So I'm literally like, I can't breathe properly. And obviously my breathing wasn't good anyway at that time, so that's probably why it was even worse. Anyway, I've literally listened to the nurse, the lady. She's, saying certain things, asking me questions or whatnot. Anyways, it was time to go. Had to leave. It was just really quick, and you know, it's one of them ones where you don't want to hug your kids because you feel like I don't know what I've got, so I can't even hug my kids, can't even hug my wife. I'm just like, I'll be back soon, you know. And in my head, I don't know when, you know, and so it was very emotional. I remember just leaving the house. My wife's like, make sure you got everything. Had my charger and my phone. There's not much that I brought. I remember obviously having just like my jumper. I just remember I had a tracksuit on, literally, and I didn't bring my coat, didn't bring none of that. It was just like my pouch. Obviously, it had my bank card and stuff like that. That's all I had. Like just my bank cards and my keys. Did I even have my keys? I don't know if I had my house keys. But the main thing obviously was phone and charger, so I could get in contact with my family. So I had that. Yeah, I basically went into the ambulance. Was in the ambulance, had a mask on, one of those oxygen masks or whatever. Got to the hospital. So they took me to Homerton Hospital, and obviously my wife was like, she wanted, because I remember she was speaking to the nurse and saying, what hospital is he going to go to? And obviously they were saying probably Homerton, Wolsey or whatever. But we was obviously hoping to go to Whitechapel. I don't know why. It's closer to us. And yeah, like we didn't end up, well, I didn't end up going there. They took me to Homerton Hospital. And Homerton, I don't know that area. But obviously it didn't matter, I was going to be in the hospital anyway. So I went to the hospital. I was in the A&E, in the bed, mask on. I had this guy come up to me. He was a nurse. I have to mention this because it was very strange. So he's being all nice to me, talking to me, asking questions, saying this, that and the other. Very chatty, just talking a lot. And obviously at that time I didn't feel to talk. Like, I'm sick. I can't even really hold a conversation up or string a few sentences together, let alone have a big conversation. Anyway, he's come over, he's talking to me, whatnot. He's saying he's been a doctor for 30 years. Next thing he's saying, by the way, you know, you could end up in a coma. So when he said that, I'm thinking, why is he saying that? And then I've said to him, well, I'm not going in a coma. Like, obviously you say these things because you're a bit scared, innit? Like, I'm saying, I'm not going in a coma. And then he goes, you don't know your future. We can't predict your future. And when he said that, I thought to myself, why is he telling me I could end up in a coma? He don't need to say that. Not now anyway. I've just got into hospital. So then, when he said that, I've now gone back into the mode of conspiracy theories, right? Because I was always worried to go to the hospital because I didn't know what they were going to do. I don't know if, you know, you hear stories, so you're a bit skeptical of just everything, right? So he's made it worse now. I wasn't even thinking about comas or anything like that. So when he said that, I'm worrying now. It's in my head, playing in my head. He's now gone back to his desk, because that's what he was doing. He's going to his desk, coming back, talking to me, going to his desk. And like, it wasn't necessary, because there was other nurses who were there, who were taking care of me, and they didn't even say a word, which I prefer. I know some people, they might want to talk to the nurses or whatever, but they just done their job. They'll come over, might say something, ask a little question, because they have to. And that was it. You know, I had one nurse who done my COVID tests, right? And that's another thing, right? I have to be honest with everyone in this video. Like, I didn't want to get no COVID test done because it just looks messed up. Like, I don't like the look of it, like how it's done and whatnot. But I didn't think it would be that bad as it was. It was bad. Why I say that is, obviously they come with the thing, they stuck it in my nose. I was shouting throughout the A&E. Everyone must have heard me. One nostril, shouting. Next nostril, I couldn't handle it. It was going up right out my nose. Hated it. Then I got the throat one. It wasn't as bad as the nose, but I was probably shouting. That was done. They come back to me. They said, I've got COVID. Now, I wasn't that shocked, I'll be honest with you. But the whole time I remember being at home, I was just, in my head, I'm like, common cold or common flu. I weren't really saying common cold because I thought it was so bad. I thought it must be like some type of flu. So I was like, common flu. Didn't think anything else because I was just like, it's probably just a really, really bad common flu. So, but I wasn't surprised, to be honest with you, because it was so bad. Obviously, they've come back, they said COVID. But then they actually said, it's on my certificate because it says exactly what happened with me. I actually had COVID pneumonia, which is really bad. We all know about pneumonia. So that was scary. Like, obviously finding that out. But yeah, after that, they moved me to one of the wards. So obviously for the night, I was in the ward, and it was scary because I had this, obviously the oxygen mask, but it was like making this noise, like a steam noise. I don't know what it's called. Obviously it must have a name for it, but it's like shh, like the whole time. That was scary. I had that on, and I think I had that on for one night, and then after they replaced it with just the normal oxygen mask. Don't make no noise, nothing, just breathing in and out through it. So I had that, and whenever I went to the toilet, I would have to carry this oxygen tank thing. It looked like a fire extinguisher, right? I had to carry that about whenever I went to the toilet, carry that about, and more times I would press the buzzer, ask the nurse to come and help me because I didn't want to get it wrong. After a while, I figured out how to use it, like, because they kind of push you to learn yourself to hook it up to the thing and then take it out, all this madness, right? But I wasn't having none of it because I didn't want to mess up nothing, to the point that I've obviously, imagine now, like, I'm trying to sort out the oxygen tank or whatever you call it, right? And I don't know, I had done something wrong, just imagine now, and then I go to sleep and I choke in my sleep because I haven't done the thing properly. Like, for me, I feel like the whole time, no matter what, even if I know how to use it, the nurses should be there just doing their job. They done a good job with everything else, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they got very impatient with me because I was always pressing the buzzer for them to kind of sort out my oxygen thing, while obviously I gotta go to the toilet, so you know what I mean. So there was a lot of that, a lot of kind of like hesitation, me thinking, should I press the buzzer? I don't want to annoy them, I don't want to blah blah blah. But I would assume that I was one of the easygoing ones, in a sense that there was a few patients who had a lot of problems, a lot of issues. One of the patients that was there, and this happened the last few days that he ended up coming to the ward that I was in, he basically had, how am I forgetting now? So there's Alzheimer's and there's, I don't know how I'm forgetting now. This whole time I remembered. I forget what it's called now. But yeah, it's like Alzheimer's disease. Basically, let me tell you exactly what he did. So, in the middle of the night, he would just get in and out of his bed. Not even just in the middle of the night, sometimes during the day, but it was a lot. He did it a lot at night. He would be in his bed, next thing he's coming out, in his bed, coming out, in his bed, coming out, to the point the nurses had to sit in their seat in a chair and watch him all night. They had to swap shifts, right? And just watch him, right? And so, yeah, they had to just literally just watch him. And there was one particular night, and it wasn't on this night. So let me explain to you, because you're gonna get confused. On obviously when I first got there, I went to like the A&E bit. They put me in the bed there and whatnot. Then they took me out of that place. I went to a ward. That ward I was in for a few nights, I think. After that, they moved me to another ward, and this other ward that I was in, this is where that patient was, where I said, yeah, he had dementia. That's it. He had dementia. The same one that was getting in and out of his bed. Now, I didn't know this until I overheard the nurses talking, basically saying he's got dementia. So I was like, oh, that's why he keeps doing it. So I don't know much about dementia. I've looked into, I've even watched a documentary about it. But it's one of those situations where it's difficult, because obviously I was getting annoyed, and I feel bad that I was getting annoyed, because that's a problem that he has that he can't help. Do you understand? So he was obviously, it was a ward full of people that had COVID, I would assume, but I think that was one of his issues as well. So maybe he had COVID, and he had the disease that he's got, dementia. So yeah, he was just in and out of his bed one night, and this night I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep at all. And I think why I couldn't sleep is because he came out of his bed, and he weed on somebody's bed. I don't think anyone was in that bed. I don't know if it was a free bed. I can't even remember, because the curtain was like semi-closed, so I couldn't really see if anyone was in the bed. But the bed was pretty close to me, and he was weeing on. But it was more close to this other guy. He was a Jamaican guy, yeah. And I remember he saying, "I'm gonna kick you out." He's cussing the man, innit, with dementia. He's like, "I'm gonna kick you out of this bed." I'm thinking, what's he talking about? When I've looked over, he's near his bed, right? This was before he started weeing on the other bed. He was right next to this Jamaican patient's bed, and Jamaican man he was just going crazy. I call him Rasta man, because he had dreadlocks, and yeah, he was going mad. He was just like, "I'm gonna kick you out of my bed," and I'm half asleep, so I'm thinking, what's going on? I've looked up now, I've seen what's going on, the commotion and whatnot. Then obviously someone's pressed the buzzer or whatnot, and nurses have came rushing in. They're seeing this guy. Well, they didn't even see him actually, because he done it. He was weeing on the bed before they even came in. So I'm lying in my bed, and I'm seeing this guy wee. It's like, it was more close to the Jamaican man's bed. It wasn't really close to me, but you know, I could still see what's going on. I'm half asleep, and I see this guy's weeing all over the floor, next to the bed, on the side of the bed. And I'm just like, this is a madhouse now. This is crazy, because the first few nights I was just sleeping casually. It was fine, because the person that was in his bed before he arrived was just normal. Like, not to be rude or nothing, but I didn't get no sleepless nights. Everyone was just fine. Like, there wasn't no noise, none of that. I'll get to sleep and lay my head down, wake up in the morning. Like, it was normal. But when he arrived, I didn't really sleep properly for a good 2 or 3 nights, and that was annoying. But obviously he had dementia, and I understood after, because obviously I overheard the nurses speak, and yeah, man, it was crazy. There's a lot of things that happen I could mention. I'll be here all day talking about it. There was one situation where the Rasta man that I was talking about, Jamaican man, he was it was weird, because he was pretty normal, and all of a sudden he couldn't breathe properly. So all I'm hearing is choking. I'm in my bed these times. I'm seeing it's during the daytime, and I've like literally, like, I can't really see, because some of the curtains like half closed, so it's like can't really see, but I can hear, and I know it's him, because you know, yeah, I knew it was him, and it was him anyway, the Rastaman, right? So he's just coughing, he's choking kind of. Then it sounded just like he couldn't breathe, like he's gasping for air. And nurses have came rushing in. It's been about 10 to 15 nurses and doctors, and they've come rushing in, blah blah blah, sort them out. Anyways, it turned out that he was fine, alhamdulillah. So he was fine. In the end, they sorted him out and whatnot. But that was, hearing that was scary, because I was like, wow, like that could have been me. Do you understand? I'm hooked up to this thing where I've got to breathe better. You know, that's why I'm in here. That's part of the reason why I wasn't breathing properly at home. That could have been me at home. Do you know what I mean? It's better to be like that in the hospital than at home, because you ain't got no oxygen mask. Like, what are you gonna do? So it was that crazy, man. Obviously I was there for 7 nights, or no, 7 days, because I got let out that same night, on a Wednesday night. Came in on a Wednesday night, got let out on a Wednesday night, which was crazy, because a lot of COVID patients, some of them stay there up to 5 weeks. Some of them end up in a coma, and they're still in a coma till today. Some people die. Some people go in first night and die. Like, it's crazy. So I'm more grateful now. I see it as a trial. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, put me in this trial. It was all written, it was all planned. It was, subhanallah, it was hardship, it was affliction, it was painful, it was a trial, it was a test, it was a blessing at the same time. And obviously people might think I'm a bit mad, but we have to be honest. Like, as believers, we say alhamdulillah in all circumstances. And we're not like these people who disbelieve in Allah, who curse Allah or stuff for Allah, and they say bad things about Allah because they've gone through bad things in their life. We don't do that as believers. Whether you're rich, you're poor, you're hungry, you know what I mean? You're going through pain, you've lost children, you've lost your wife, your spouse, you've lost your parents, you know, no matter what you go through in life, you still got to say alhamdulillah. You got to praise Allah, you got to thank Allah, you still got to pray, you still got to worship Allah, you still got to make dua if you can. You know, when I say if you can, I mean if you're ill and you can't pray, you can lie down, you can pray, you know, you can pray lying down, you can pray sitting down, you can make dua if you can't pray at all. Like, these are, you know, subhanallah, these are things that you can do to stay connected to Allah, right? And so I always have faith in Allah. I always had faith in Allah, and always will. Or even before I was Muslim, I worshipped Allah. You know, obviously I would say God or the Creator. Like, I worshipped God, right? And so that sticks with you. And no matter what you go through, you always remember Allah. And I remember I had it on my phone as well, on my screensaver. It said, it's the verse in the Quran where it mentions, remember me and I'll remember you. That's what Allah says. Remember me and I'll remember you. And I remember just looking at my phone each time. Every time I picked up my phone, and I had my phone a lot, I was using it a lot in the hospital, had Wi-Fi there, alhamdulillah. I was on the phone a lot, on Facebook and stuff like that. And but I remember every time I woke up or any time I looked at my phone, it would say, remember me and I'll remember you. That's what Allah says. So you have the remembrance of Allah, yeah? Whether you're reading Quran, you're reflecting upon the creation. Like, you see the creation, you realize in your head, you're like, there's a creator. For sure, 100% there's a creator. You think about all the blessings that you have, you know that it's from Allah. Allah is giving you these blessings. Just remembering Allah at all times is something that we have to do. And then on top of it, the blessings that you've been given, such as your family and friends and close, you know, relatives and people who love you, yeah? People who you've never met before. Like, there's so many brothers who I've never met before, and I know that they love me fi sabilillah. They love me for the sake of Allah. Because even like when I'm telling brothers to, you know, I'm not telling, I'm asking if they can make dua for me, and the amount of people who are, you know, I've made a dua whatnot, and they've said Ameen, or they're making dua for me. Subhanallah, this is a blessing. Some of them I've never met before in my life, and they feel closer to me than certain maybe even family members. But alhamdulillah, I have to be grateful for family as well, because there's so many people who were in contact with me who maybe not have been in contact with me when I was healthy as much. But now when I think about it, it's actually more important that your loved ones are there for you at the time that you actually need them, because we complain and say, oh, you know what, this family member never calls me. But you really and truly, you're not in pain. You're not in that at that time. Maybe yeah, it's nice to get phone calls and people calling you and whatnot. But when you're sick and you have these same people, you maybe in a bit, they never call, they never stay in contact, and you realize that these same people are the same ones that are there for you, and that they're messaging you, seeing how you are. They're phoning you, seeing how you are. Even when at the time you're sick, before you get into the hospital, they're saying have lemon sip. I mean have this, eat this, drink this, have this. It's good for you. You know, look after yourself. And they're phoning you and stay in contact with you when you're in pain and you're going through hardship and you're feeling sick. It feels better than anything. Like, even though it's nice to get phone calls and that when you're healthy and you're thinking to yourself, right, so and so hasn't called me for a whole month. I'm doing all the calling. I'm phoning them. When you're sick and these same people that you was complaining about saying they don't call or whatnot, and they call you and they phone you and they're messaging, they're seeing how you are, it's always nice, because you're laying down in the hospital bed and some people, everyone's different. Some people, they don't get in contact with they don't get anyone calling them while they're sick. So this happens to some people, that they're in the hospital and no one visits them. No one can't visit anyway if you got COVID, but no one calls. No one messages. Some people have family members like that. Even when you're sick, they don't even contact you. But I have to be grateful and I have to be thankful, and I have to praise Allah and thank Allah that I have family members who, they stayed in contact. Maybe, yeah, it happens sometimes. They don't call me for months, like when I was healthy, when I was doing fine. Everyone's just getting on with their life, but it goes to show how much love someone has for you when you're sick. Because if you're sick, you're at your lowest point, and these people are they're trying to phone you, they're calling you, messaging, and it's like, like they're calling every day, they're messaging every day, yeah. And I'm not gonna mention any names, but I know who as they say, the real ones are, yeah. But just to be real, just to be honest, like, I'm not really bothered about who wasn't in contact and who doesn't. That don't really bother me so much. But I'm a person that I realize, I'm a person that I have to recognize when someone does good, and I kind of push away any negative kind of not ill feelings that I have for them, but just any kind of negative things that I would complain about beforehand. Like, that's all gone to me, that's all dead. Like, I don't care, because they were there for me when I was sick. So I don't care about the past, I don't care about any of that. It's about what people did for me and how people were towards me when I was sick. That's when you realize they do love you. You know what I mean? So it was a learning curve as well. Maybe that's part of the reason, Allahu Alam, to realize that you do have family members who care. You do have family members who love you. Because my grandmother, she was phoning me all the time. Even up till now, today, she's still, like, I'm recovering, I'm getting better. She's still calling to see how I am. That means everything to me. And then obviously, what's normal to me is normal anyway. My mum's always been there. So, yeah, she was calling, texting, seeing how I am. That's normal. But, and then obviously my auntie was calling, she was messaging me. My uncle messaged me. I don't know if it was once or twice, but he still got in contact. But shouts out to my grandma because she was messaging me, phoning me all the time, and then obviously mum gets love 24/7 no matter what. She was in contact, no doubt about it. I love my mum, so I'm just, that was normal. And then my wife, such a blessing to have a wife. Wallahi, if you're not married, get married, yeah? Because I don't know what I would do. Allahu Alam. If I wasn't married, I don't know what would happen. Allahu Alam. My wife is a blessing to me. I love my wife so much. And she was there through thick and thin. That's normal. But yeah, I love my wife. I love my kids. When I got out to see my kids, it was amazing. Furthermore, another thing is when I was in hospital, this was mad because I had the oxygen thing, but it was like the wires, like it weren't the oxygen mask. It was oxygen, but obviously it was like wires going through my nose, round the back of my head or whatnot. And my kids saw it, or my youngest daughter saw it, or saw me, and she was acting like scared. She was this was on FaceTime, and I could see, and it did make me feel a bit bad or feel upset because it was like she didn't recognize her father. I just looked different, and you know what was strange? One of the doctors and nurses came in literally the following day, or a couple days after. I think it was literally the day after that, and said, you're doing a lot better, you're breathing a lot better, all that stuff, you're progressing. And they said, you don't need this no more. So I took it off, literally, I didn't need it no more. They took it off and I could just breathe on my own, basically. I didn't need the oxygen thing. Like, I was doing a lot better, I was breathing a lot better. So I was just like this, right? I didn't have no mask, none of that. So I literally just, obviously, my wife FaceTimed me, or I FaceTimed her, one or two. And then my daughter could see me normal. So I was just, my kids, they could all see me. I didn't have the oxygen mask anymore, none of that. And it's weird because they have a game where it's like doctors and nurses or whatever. So they have all the equipment, like the toys, like where they could put the mask on and all that stuff. So it was just weird to me that they didn't see it as a game kind of thing. Like, they knew that I was in hospital, a real hospital, and there was real nurses, and it wasn't a game. That's how they saw it. It wasn't a game. Like, I couldn't pretend it was a game. It was, to them, it was like, that's not daddy kind of thing. Until obviously I had all the mask off and stuff like that. I was more recognizable to them. But it's crazy. Hold on, let me see something, because this is really, the radiator's on. It's quite warm, so I thought I'd move it up a bit. But yeah, man, I've been speaking for like 43 minutes. I knew it would be quite long because I was in hospital. You know what I mean? I haven't even spoke about much at all, especially the things that happen in hospital. So anyways, let me talk about the food now. So you know what most people are like, hospital food, disgusting. It's like food when you get on the airplane, because I know what the food's like on the airplane. I remember, didn't really like it at all. So I'm there thinking, hospital food, I might not like it. I remember being sick at home. Before I went to the hospital, I couldn't eat nothing but soup. My taste buds were mad. It was mash up. So when I've gone to the hospital, my taste buds are pretty much back to normal. I was eating Rice Krispies for breakfast. Sugar. I know I hold my hands up. I know I'm supposed to be eating healthy and stuff, but I had sugar, lots of sugar. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, man. Lots of sugar in my Rice Krispies, tasted nice. I had banana with it, and then that would be pretty much every morning. And then after a while, they started giving me some unripe bananas. You know what I mean? Like, or there was like no bananas left. So I'm like, what else can I have? There's like other fruits, and then obviously I had apple. So that's what they offered. So sometimes I'll have banana with Rice Krispies, and other times I'll have apple with Rice Krispies. And then after a while, I started just having apple because for me it just tasted a lot better. And I'm usually a banana person, but for some reason the apple was just banging, tasted a lot better. And so it just goes to show that my taste buds did change a bit, because there's a few things that I just wanted all the time. In fact, a lot of the things I had there I wanted all the time, and I was getting all the time, even though there was a fat menu. There was so many different things that you could have. So for lunch I would have jerk chicken and rice, and they'll have like salad, and with that I would have apple juice and jelly. Obviously halal. The jerk chicken was halal. Like, I would ask all the time and they'll say, yeah, it's halal. Every time I order something, yeah, it's halal. Then obviously I'll get the same thing, so I didn't need to ask them after that. And then for dinner I would have tandoori chicken and rice. That was nice, I'm not gonna lie. But the lunch was the best. The jerk chicken and rice, you can't get better than that. The rice. And then I remember on my last day, imagine this, on my last day I was like, I'm gonna get something different. Oh yeah, just before my last day actually, I was like, I'm gonna get something different. So I had a different dinner this time. Instead of having tandoori chicken and rice and the salad with it, I had, because they said in the menu, I said, I was asking what's on the menu. It went through the menu. Then all I heard was Caribbean. As soon as I heard Caribbean, my head changed, because obviously I love Caribbean food. You know what I mean? I'm Jamaican, innit? And so now when they said Caribbean, obviously my head's turned back. They're saying Caribbean brown chicken. I'm like, what's that? Like, I don't even know. I've never even heard of it. I'll be honest with you. Caribbean brown chicken. Anyway, I thought to myself, let me try that, man. It's got to be nice, innit? So I said, yeah, I'll have that. In fact, I think I heard it. I think I was going through the menu before one day, and then I didn't choose it, but I was like, I'm gonna have it the next day. So yeah, that was the day where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have it. So I had it now. Oh yeah, I didn't mention before that. Before I had this now, that day, the day before I had, because obviously I wanted the change. So for dinner I had spaghetti bolognese. The mince wasn't too bad, it was quite nice. But the spaghetti, there was like, I don't want to complain. I feel like I'm complaining. You shouldn't really do that. Obviously, the Prophet ﷺ, when he had food, if he didn't like the food, he wouldn't say anything. He would just leave it aside. So I feel bad now, but I have to be honest, man. I'm just gonna tell you without trying to complain, yeah. But yeah. So like, the spaghetti would have, at the end of it, there was like a hard bit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's mad because when I make spaghetti, I'm like, I never get it wrong. So obviously someone's got it a bit wrong. It's a bit burnt on the edges, but alhamdulillah, it's food at the end of the day. I ate, you know what I mean? It was nice. Obviously I've had better spaghetti bolognese, no doubt about it, I'm not gonna lie. But alhamdulillah, still got to be grateful. Had food, you know what I mean? It was my dinner. The next day now, like I said about the Caribbean brown chicken, I'm like, what's this? I'm like, I'll get it anyway. Oh yeah, that's it. They said Caribbean brown chicken stew, or brown stew chicken. Now stew always puts me off. When I think about stew, I'm like, I don't know how they're gonna do it, because everyone makes stew differently, and like, obviously Jamaicans make it different to this person. I don't know who's cooking. I don't know if it's Jamaican nurse. I don't know if it's you don't know. Just because it's Caribbean, you don't know who's cooking it. So anyways, I'm like, the jerk tastes nice, but it doesn't actually really taste like your traditional jerk. Do you know what I mean? Like, it did taste different, and I think maybe because it wasn't spicy, and I think they've done that on purpose in the hospital, because nothing was spicy. Like everything I had tandoori chicken, and none of it was spicy, which was fine by me. I don't mind. I love spice, but at the same time, you don't want to be in the hospital and you eating spicy food every day. So yeah, that was alright, and it still tasted banging. The jerk was nice, but yeah, it's getting a bit late. Man. I don't know if it's coming up to Maghrib. I haven't done assay yet, so I'm gonna be quick. Probably about 10 more minutes, right? So anyway, or I might do a part 2 of this. We'll see. Might make extra footage. 'Cause I got a lot to talk about. Anyways, had the stew chicken, the brown chicken. It was beautiful. It was amazing. I remember saying to myself, I'm gonna have that tomorrow and the next day, and however I don't know how long I'm gonna be here for, but I'm gonna have that as a dinner. That's it, like banging. It was nice, loved it. Lo and behold, now the next day I've left. I'm not in the hospital anymore, so I didn't get to have that dinner again. But one thing that didn't leave was just Caribbean food. I don't know what it was. It was just like, or West Indian food. However, I usually call it West Indian food, but obviously on the menu it's a Caribbean food. But that, I kid you not, since I've been out of hospital, I've been having jerk chicken or curry mutton loads of times. Like I've ordered probably about 4 or 5 times since I've been out. Ordered online jerk chicken, rice. Another time curry mutton, rice, plantain. You obviously get salad with it. Like that's what I've been having like most of the time, and then on top of that, obviously, wifey's cooked. I've had biryani. I love biryani. I really felt like it that day as well when I had it. I've had, and obviously I know biryani it's not Caribbean, but still there's chicken, there's meat in there. So that's my point. I've been just feeling to have chicken and lamb and meat. Like I've just been on it, and my appetite's got even more like big. It's weird. Like I'm just hungry all the time. But the good thing is, I got my taste buds back when I landed hospital, like straight away. So I literally had 3 meals a day, solid meals a day, every day, all those 7 days that I was there. And to the point that I thought I would leave the hospital and I'll be back to my size, but I was skinny and I didn't realize. My wife told me, and when my wife doesn't notice much, like I could say to her like, yeah man, like my biceps has got mad big, like you noticed, and I could see clearly like my arms has got big or something. My wife's just like, you look the same to me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, but she noticed straight away. She's like, you lost weight. And now I've gone in the toilet now. You know when you look directly, like how I'm looking now, I'm like, I look normal. But then when you look to the side, that's when you notice the difference. So I've looked and I'm like, oh my, I'm really skinny. And then I've realised, because I remember in the hospital, I was looking at my legs and I realised how skinny they were. Like I saw how skinny they were. And obviously when I got home, I wasn't really looking at my legs, you know what I mean? But I was looking at, I see my body and I was like, wow, I look skinny. But then I noticed my legs was mad skinny. I'm like, I am skinny, like the whole body, my arms, even up till now, I don't want to show you guys, but my arms are mad skinny. Like right now, it's a lot skinny. Like my arms still skinny. And I've been eating enough. So it goes to show, that's why I'm just eating anything right now. Diet doesn't matter right now. Until I get back to training and I'm more fitter and you know what I mean? When I've recovered properly, then I'll start eating healthy again. I know it's a bit backwards. Some people just eat healthy from now, but it's not like I'm eating crazy stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not eating chocolate and sweets and crisps every single day. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna lie, I did get a couple sweets the other day. Had a few, chocolate as well. That's just how my appetite, how I'm feeling is like, it's comfort eating right now, and that's what I need, because for a while I wasn't eating properly, like when I was sick. So I'm just getting back to having things that I really feel like, and then soon I'm gonna start eating things that I haven't had, that I used to have a lot, such as eggs. I always had that with avocado. You know, that was my thing for a while when I started eating a lot more healthy. Tuna and rice. I haven't had tuna yet since I left hospital. Like, there's a lot of things that I haven't really had yet. I'm gonna try and slowly bring it into my diet and start eating more of it. You know what I mean? Even like, I fancied egg and beans, and yeah, just egg and beans, like for lunch with toast. Like, I kind of felt like that, but there was a lot of chicken cooked. So lunchtime today, I just had a lot of chicken, with tortilla wrap, some cucumbers, and so I'm still having my salad. I can't leave that out. I'm always having my salad, cucumber, lettuce, sweet corn. Obviously, that's just normal, isn't it? Because I gotta have sweetness like in my food. I've always said that. Ketchup, I've actually stayed away from. I've been tempted to just throw in a bit of ketchup because diet doesn't matter right now. I'm trying to put on some weight because I've lost a lot of weight. I look skinny, and I know there's a lot of people that don't matter. You can stay skinny, and then you could kind of like, when you go back to the gym or start working out, then you could start building muscle. But I don't want to do that. I know it's, for me, I'd rather put on some weight, like a bit of fat on my legs, my arms, belly, everything, and then slowly change my diet, become more healthy again. Like, my diet's just better or whatnot, and just, you know what I mean, like slowly and surely start exercising a bit more, start eating better. Like, I would rather do it that way because it's not nice when you look skinny. For some people, they don't mind looking skinny, because I've always been like that. I remember being a teenager, being so skinny, and I ate a lot, but I was really skinny. I was a growing lad, obviously getting taller or whatnot, and I was just skinny, and I hated that. And that's the feeling that I got now, and I can't help that. That's just me. Everyone's different. For me, I don't care. I'm just gonna be eating like, and I'm not eating crazy. It's not like I'm eating like 7 meals a day. I'm still having like 3 meals a day, in between maybe a few snacks. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be difficult because I did have I had like peanuts the other day, monkey nuts, sorry, and that's what I used to have like in between meals, and I just didn't feel like it. So there's a few things that I've kind of gone off, sorry, that I always had before. Dates being one of them, and for me that's strange because I loved dates before. Like, they still, it's weird because when, I don't know if my dates have just gone funny, because I still got them and I've had them for a long time now, because obviously I had to go to hospital and stuff like that, so it's just been sitting there. No one else eats it, my wife, my kids, none of them, eat dates. So yeah, so it was more of a thing where I was just like, I had a date, had some monkey nuts, and I was just like, I'm not feeling this. So I know I'll slowly get back to eating them again, and it'll probably be a bit different. I might need a new pack of dates. I don't know if it's gone funny, the dates that I have now. With the monkey nuts, I don't know, it just weren't the same. So I don't know what it is. Obviously there's certain things that I can't eat right now, and there's other things that I'm just in love with. I'm just eating all the time, such as jerk chicken and curry mutton, like those kind of things. I just want all the time. Planting, like, these things are really I just want all the time. And then obviously Rice Krispies. Prior to this, when I was before I got sick, I would just have a banana for breakfast, and sometimes I wouldn't have no breakfast because I like to work out on an empty stomach. Whereas now, before, like I said, I was having 2 meals and snacks in between, working out. But now it's like 3 meals. You know what I mean? It's 3 meals, and yeah, I feel like I could never skip breakfast again. I don't know what it is, and I'm really feeling cereal. But I know I'm not silly. Obviously, as a person who's looking to be a personal trainer, someone who's into fitness, someone who is into nutrition and just looking into different diets and stuff like that. Just someone who is a health freak, or I was like a health freak before, or someone who tries to be, is now in a position where I'm having sugar on my cereal. That's a big no-no. Before that would have been a big no-no. Like no sugar on it. Replace that with honey. You know, put honey on your oats or something like that. But I can't help it. I mean, I was in hospital for a while and I was having, I was having Rice Krispies with sugar on top, cold milk every morning, and I'm still having it now. So I think when I do switch over to a more of a healthy diet and I start working out again, training, I start recovering more, then I will cut out the sugar. But I don't think I'm gonna cut out cereal. In fact, when you look at the Rice Krispies, it's actually not bad. It was something like 0.4 fat. It was pretty much, I wouldn't say it's healthy, like crazy healthy. It's not like having oats. Oats is really nutritious, and that's something that I would have for lunch. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not feeling that yet. I haven't been thinking, oh yeah, I feel like some oats. I haven't really been thinking like that at all. So, for now, it's Rice Krispies. But like I said, obviously I'm having a lot of sugar on top of the Rice Krispies. I would have an apple with it after. This is just what I feel like for now. I'm just pretty much just comfort eating, and it doesn't mean you guys have to do this. You know what I mean? I want you guys to eat healthy. That's the whole point of this channel, trying to promote people, trying to promote well-being, good well-being, just eating properly, eating right. But at the moment, I'm in a situation where I've just left the hospital. I'm just recovering. I've lost a lot of weight. I just want to comfort eat and eat what I like, what I really like. And there's no time for kind of like self-discipline right now. It's not a case of I'm not having takeaway again, or I'm never going to have ketchup. I haven't been having ketchup, which is a good thing. I still ain't had that for months, alhamdulillah. But just in general, like sugar, you know what I mean? That's something I definitely would have cut out before, and I just wouldn't be interested in. You know what I mean? Instead of having tea, I would have had honey tea, so I wouldn't be having sugar anyway. But for now, like I said, what can I say? Every morning I'm having Rice Krispies with sugar. But hopefully, like I said, I'll still have Rice Krispies, cold milk, for breakfast. But I will get rid of the sugar, because I can do that. I mean, before I used to have Rice Krispies with cold milk, no sugar, casually, and I think I could do the same. But just not yet. Just not yet. I want to put on weight. I want to eat whatever I feel like at the time, as long as it's halal, obviously. And obviously, if it's not crazy, like I'm not gonna do stupid things like have crisp for breakfast, crisp for lunch, chocolate for dinner. Like, I ain't gonna do something stupid like that, or have burger and chips every single day. I still ain't had burger and chips since I come out of hospital. All the takeaway I've got has been jerk, chicken, rice, or curry mutton, rice. Like, I haven't had any of that. But today's gonna be the day that I'm gonna have something a bit more unhealthy, because we are gonna eat in. Obviously, the kids are gonna want something to eat, so I think we may be having pizza. And I did say to my wife, I feel like pizza. The last time I had pizza was a while ago, quite a long time ago, that I can remember. I can't remember the last time I had pizza, so that will be nice. It's not gonna be something I'm gonna have every day, so it's not a big deal. You get personal trainers who do cheat meals. They do it all the time, some of them, and they're in shape. They're personal trainers. You know what I mean? And that's not to say it's a good thing, because I personally wouldn't do that. When I become a personal trainer, God willing, and I'm healthy and I'm fine, my diet is going to be proper. Like, I don't think I'll be having pizzas and burgers and stuff like that. I don't think so. But it doesn't mean that not to say it's not the wrong thing, but there's other personal trainers who do this all the time. It's just, don't think every personal trainer is on this like, I'm never having takeaway again. Some personal trainers, they have takeaway every week. Their cheat days every week, every Sunday or every Saturday or every Friday. You know what I mean? I would say if you're gonna have a cheat meal, have it like once every month or something like that. So at least I can say to myself, you know what, since I've come out of hospital, this is gonna be like the first literally cheat day that I've had, because all the takeaways that I've got so far, and I've had a few of them, have been jerk chicken, rice, curry mutton. You know what I mean? This is good food for me anyway. I mean, it's good food. You know what I mean? But obviously things like burgers, chips, pizzas, I ain't had that yet. So obviously today's the day, cheat day. Pizza and I don't know what I'm gonna have. Maybe pizza and chips probably. I don't know, but might throw some wings in there. Yeah, but we'll see. I'll probably show you guys what's going on later on. Not to try and entice you into having unhealthy food, but it is what it is, going to be part of the footage. So yeah, I'm just glad to be back. I'm at home, obviously no longer at hospital, and I'm very grateful that I'm home. Alhamdulillah, you know, I see my kids every night now, whereas before, yeah, I would have saw them on FaceTime, but it's not the same. And yeah, I'm just so grateful. You know, I have a wife and kids, and I've came home to my wife and kids. That's another blessing. I could have been a person who didn't have kids or a wife, and I came home to nobody. I could have been that person, which would have been difficult because you just come out of hospital, you know. And what can I say? I'm feeling so grateful. Every single day I wake up, I feel so grateful. You know, I feel grateful, and that's important, to have gratitude. And I realize that family is more important to me now. I was even saying, I think I said it on Facebook, when you're laying in the hospital bed, you don't think about money, you don't think about work, you don't think about any of these things. You're thinking about health, how to get healthy, how to be you start, obviously you're thinking about death. In some cases you're thinking, I could end up in a coma. That depends what your situation is, but you know, when someone's telling you could end up in a coma, that's going to be on your mind. So it was on my mind. And you know, you just don't have things on your mind like business and money and stuff like that. I was even talking to my uncle about business on the day that I got sick. And so that, for me, I'm not even thinking about that right now. I ain't got time. Even now I'm out of hospital, I'm not thinking about that. Might think about it in the future. Not now. I'm just... And for me, that is a business that is long term. It's something that could take ages. It's something that you have to focus on. It's something that you have to build. I ain't got time for that. And that's not to say you can't be a person that's ambitious. I'm still ambitious. But you know, there's certain things you got to leave out for a while. There's certain things that you still got to continue with. You know what I mean? Like, for example, there was a few people will know about this. If you know, you're watching this video, you'll see that or that you've heard of Reed. It's a website for jobs and courses and stuff like that. Reed.com or reed.co.uk. I can't remember what the actual website is, but yeah, it's Reed, and they got lots of courses on their website, loads. And it's not just that they've got courses, they've got cheap courses, good courses, where you could get you know, at the end of the course, you have you know, an exam, you pass the exam, you get a certificate, and obviously you can use this certificate to go to different jobs and get a job. For example, if you're going to do a course on personal training, which is what I did, I ain't gonna lie, I actually went onto the Reed course, or the Reed website, so to see all the courses. And yeah, I ended up doing personal training. That's one of the courses, and another course which I'm not going to mention because I said the same thing on Facebook. I mentioned that obviously one of the courses was personal training that I'm going for. I bought it for £25, which is crazy cheap, because I was actually initially I was saving up for a personal training course anyway. This personal training course that I was saving up for was personal training, nutrition, um, um, strength and conditioning, and I think something else. But it was a good package altogether for £2 grand. Now, obviously, to some that's a lot of money. To some people, they could pay that tomorrow, right? But for me, it's a lot of money, and I would have to save up for a long time. And I didn't really have the patience to save up for it. I still would have, because that was my passion and drive and force to be a personal trainer. So I was going for it anyway. I was saving up. Now, yeah, I still got money in my savings account because I was saving up for it. At the time, obviously, I went hospital and things like that, and my job started paying me less, and because I haven't been working, this came up. This is a blessing, and for me, I mean, what an opportunity! Like, I've just come out of hospital, and then boom, I've seen all these courses. I'm like, it was no hesitation for me. I knew exactly what course I was going to do, because my intention was to be a personal trainer anyway. So I jumped on the course. The course is actually personal trainer and nutrition. Or yeah, so it's a personal training course, and also you study nutrition, and that's one of the courses. Then I've done a second course, which I'm not saying until I'm qualified, then I'll mention that course. So yeah, and there's a reason for it. The reason why I'm not mentioning it, because if I mention this course, I think a lot of people are going to be shocked. And also, when I mentioned it on Facebook, I didn't want anyone to say like, why are you doing that? When people start questioning that, why would you do a course like that, or you know what I mean? Like, that plays into the whole kind of thing as well. But just in general, I thought about it. I even thought to myself, why am I even telling everyone that I'm doing a personal training course? But I like to inspire people. I like to, I knew that if I mentioned it, then other people might think to themselves, hold on, let me go check this out. Because sometimes, if you just tell a person there's courses on which is how I found out, you just tell a person, look, there's courses on read.com, this, that, and the other, this, blah, blah, blah. Some people, it will just go in one ear and out the other. Reason being is because that person that's telling them to go on there hasn't mentioned that they're on there. So the fact that I've said I bought a course, I'm going to do this course, I'm excited, blah, 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 this is what I'm going to do, that should even reinforce, or not reinforce, but that should actually spark interest in the person's mind and make them think, hold on, if he's doing it, I can do it. You know what I mean? And they start thinking, yeah. And it becomes competition, healthy competition, which is good. You see others do it, and you think to yourself, I could do it. If they can do it, I can do it. You know what I mean? That's how life works sometimes. Sometimes you need to see other people doing something for you to end up doing that same thing. It's just how it goes. You know what I mean? We're just generally like that as human beings. I mean, if there was one particular course and you just found out no one's going to this course and it was only going to be you, and you didn't know who was going to come after you, you'd probably be like, forget this course. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to see other people go into the same, not the exact same course, but that, like, they go onto the website and they go on to do other courses, but they're trying to do the same thing that you're doing, which is obviously to do a course, something that you enjoy, something that you like, something that you've got interest in, something you have passion for, or something that you got passion, you got determination. It's just something that you really want to do, right? When people see that, you know what I mean, it's only going to be one way or the other. Some people, they might just be like too lazy, they just can't bother. But more times you see people and you think, I'm going to do this because I know I can do it. If they can do it, I can do it. And that's how it goes. But I've been speaking quite long now. I'm going to end this video. But yeah, I just want to say, for all those who sent messages, whether publicly or privately, may Allah bless you, because the messages were beautiful. Brothers giving dua, some brothers just being you know, inspiring and just saying, you know, you can pull through this and this, that, and the other. And, you know, messages while I was in hospital, after I came out, um, like I said, whether private or public, some people messaged me, DM me, and some people, you know, they commented under a picture that I might have shared and said that I was in hospital and whatnot. And, you know, it was just too many beautiful messages and too many brothers that too many brothers to mention. So it's just anyone and everyone who, you know, sent messages, whether family members, close one, you know, loved ones, people who I don't know, but they're on Facebook and they're brothers, and I love them for the sake of Allah, because obviously they are believers, and, you know, that's what we share. That's the common, you know, that's the reality. As believers, we love each other for the sake of Allah, right? So you have that, and you've never even met them before, and, you know, it's hard to explain, hard to describe, that kind of feeling. Someone who you don't know, but you can see that they're showing love, and you know it's genuine. It is what it is. But yeah, it's been a roller coaster, man, the last few weeks. And, you know, I just thought I'd share this with you guys, because it wouldn't make sense for me to just disappear and then you lot don't know what's going on, and then I drop a video like 2 months later when I got better. Nah, I thought I'd explain the situation, tell you exactly what's happened over the last few weeks. You know, what even made me sick, I had to mention. Even that was probably the hardest bit, because obviously I've been talking about a common flu for a long time, and then I mentioned COVID. So, you know, obviously it's just one of those things. And like I said, I gotta be grateful, because there's some people who have gone into the hospital same night and have died, you know what I mean, or died the next day. And there's some people who have been put in a coma, and they're in a coma for a very long time. And there's some people like myself who's very fortunate to only be in there for like 7 days, and then I've come out and I'm recovering very quickly, you know, by the grace of Allah. And but I'm still taking my time with things, and slowly and surely I'll get better and better. And I'm still going to be making videos, but unfortunately I'm not going to be making videos outside and, you know, working out or in the gym. It's just one of those things. And but for those who are into football, I'm going to be making a lot of videos about football, because I'm into football myself, and it makes sense just to talk about things that you enjoy. It's just one of the things that I want to do, is just to kind of make the most of life now, you know what I mean? So even though I was trying to do that before, I just feel like I want to make the most of life even more now, you know what I mean? But obviously I've got to take my time with things, slowly and surely, you know what I mean, just recover. Even I'm not even going to be going to work for like a few weeks, so, but we'll see obviously what happens. I say a couple weeks, that's the time that I've been given. You know, my doctors have said 2 weeks for now, but you know, slowly and surely, hopefully I'll get better very soon, but we'll have to see. So especially when it comes to, for me, obviously getting back to work is the next step, but I don't think I'll be training or working out for a few months, because I want to be proper ready. And I'm not even ready to go to work, but I guess soon I have to go. I don't have to, but, you know, I want to kind of push myself to, you know, do certain things. Like, obviously, only the other day I started going out. There's once actually I've been out since coming out of the hospital, and it's been a whole week. So you can understand how slowly I'm recovering, because even just walking outside is a madness. Like the other day I felt like I was running out of breath, and that was only to, you know, pick up my kids from school. I was with my wife, and I still feel like I can't even go outside alone for, you know, just like to walk up and down. So I don't know, you know, I have to take my time with things. But my goal is to obviously go out a bit more. I didn't go out today. I should have. But that's my intentions, is to, walk a bit more, go out further, and that's how. Because my legs are still shaky. Like when I go down the stairs, it's still a bit shaky. When I come up the stairs, it's a lot easier. I don't know why, but that's just where it is right now. So just slowly and surely get better. But I ain't gonna take too much of your time. I've been talking for like an hour and 20 minutes. Probably won't do a part 2. I was gonna, but this seems long enough anyway. So it was just good to get out this video, just to speak and be honest with you guys and just tell you what's going on. Just, what I mean, get everything off my chest. So yeah, until the next time, peace.